Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about Eric DeCosta and the highway robbery that he pulled off in free agency and how that's impacting this team today in November, more than halfway through this football season. And then speaking of halfway, at about the halfway mark of today's video, we're going to get into your questions, our Ravens Rundown weekly mailbag. All of these got asked during our Wednesday evening live show, so they are from the flock, answered by yours truly. Cannot wait to see what they got for me this week. What I got for you guys is daily content, okay? Make sure you subscribe. It's free, and right now, we are on top of our season-long sub-battle against Steelers talk. Look, I'm not cool with just beating them. I want to bury them in the dirt, and I need your help to make sure that that is a possibility. If you have not joined us yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and let's run this score up. It's great that we're leading. It's not good enough, and we are not close to being done. Again, free subscribe button. Make sure you hit that. So Eric DeCosta has made loads of moves over the last 12 months. If you think about free agency, if you think about draft, if you think about trades, he has been a very, very busy man. Now, some of you agree with the things that he's done. Some of you disagree with some of the things that he's done. Some of you wish he would have done more, and I can understand that take. However, when you think about the signing of Chidobe Awuzie, that might be at the very top of the list, and it is so underrated. It was so underreported, and it was so looked at as, not a bad move, but just kind of a interesting. Let's talk about it, and then let's just kind of not talk about it ever again. Like, obviously, Cheeto just had the game-saving pass breakup against the Cleveland Browns. Did an absolutely unbelievable job in coverage, and then he did what a lot of cornerbacks fail to do. He finished it, right? It wasn't good enough just to break that ball up, but he finished that rep, finished that route, finished that coverage. But, like, if you look at the analytics, he's very secretively been one of the best cornerbacks in football this season. If you look at yards allowed per coverage snap, he finds himself in the top 8 with names like A.J. Terrell, Joey Porter Jr., Patrick Surtain, a ton of other really, really good cornerbacks, 0.65 yards allowed per coverage snap. His PFF grades back up that sentiment as well. Overall grade of 79.1, third best among cornerbacks, 108 of them in the National Football League. His coverage grade, 81.5. Again, third best of 108 cornerbacks in the National Football League. 16 receptions allowed, only 178 yards, and only 1 touchdown. And the reason that we're talking about this as highway robbery, because look at what you paid him. It was a 1-year deal. Base salary of $1.25 million. Guys, are you kidding me? Last year, by Tennessee, he had a contract worth $12 million. And you paid him 1.2, and he's been phenomenal. And it was a big risk because of the injuries he's dealt with in his past, but it's a risk that looks like it's been paying off so far. Given all the turmoil that's happened this season, all the losing, all the ups and downs, all of the hard times that this secondary has seen, especially the first 6 weeks, I would hate to see where this team would be without Chidobe Awuzie, because it would not be in a very, very good spot. Really, really, really excited about what he's been able to do for this team and all of that on such a cheap contract. Eric DeCosta truly did pull off highway robbery when he signed Cheeto back in March. Grade Chidobe Awuzie so far in 2025. Give him an A, B, C, D, or F in that comment section down below. Weigh in with your answer. Act like you're a teacher, okay? Get those red pens back out. Light up the comment section and give him your grade. Let's get into the questions for the rest of today's show. We're going to start off with Joseph, great first name. Frausto says, #Ravens. Will Josh Allen sadly be seen as better than Lamar if they retire tomorrow because of narratives? I don't think better. I think I think very similar playing fields, very similar conversations for the two of those guys. It's just going to, vary on who you ask, which one's better. But I think from a national perspective, they're going to be thought to be very the same. And the reason why is Josh Allen's never made a Super Bowl. He's never won a conference championship. That's the biggest knack that Lamar Jackson gets is his playoff record. And while, yeah, Josh Allen has more playoff wins, he's beaten the Ravens twice in the playoffs. But, like, he hasn't been to a Super Bowl. And Lamar Jackson has more MVPs than Josh Allen does. And so that's why I feel like I don't think one's going to be viewed better than the other. I think they're going to both be viewed, if their career's in it right now and they retire tomorrow, both of them would have the exact same view of unbelievable talent, just couldn't get it done in the playoffs. Hate to see that they never won a Super Bowl. If they retire tomorrow, that would be both of their narratives. Moggs, hot take. Harbaugh's will to defend himself from being wrong will get Lamar injured again before the playoffs. Moggs, I agree with this take. And frankly, like, I don't find it too hot, to be honest with you. Gage, should we have that quote that we talked about on Wednesday's show or Tuesday's show, if you don't mind getting up, of what John Harbaugh spoke to the media? Say that again? Yep. Yeah, so John Harbaugh a couple weeks ago, after the loss against the Texans, basically said, hey, look, we're always evaluating change in the offensive line. He said everything's on the table. There are guys that are in that area where they still have to prove themselves. They're starters because they earn that, but you got to keep earning that. You can't plateau. If we're hoping for you to make progress as a player and it's not happening at some point in time, we're going to find somebody else to get a chance. And that's just the way it should work. Well, he said that back then. That was after week 5. Here we are, going into week 12. The offensive line has not gotten much better, even though you've been winning. And he said, you put the 5 best players out there. The 5 guys who are playing the best. That's what you do. That's not even a hard answer. Yeah, we're putting the best 5 players out there, and they're playing pretty darn good. None of our positions are perfect, but they're trying to be. We put the best group out there, and we fight. So his willingness to defend himself and not admit when he's wrong, I agree with you. It might get Lamar Jackson injured again because this offensive line just frankly has not been good enough. He's getting sacked more times than he ever has per game in his career, up to 3.2, and he's getting hit hard, dude. Hard. So I totally agree with that. Attendance squad is next. Out of the injuries you saw on, what is today? Wednesday? The current recording of this video. How many players do you think will play on Sunday? The injury report on Wednesday, Gage, if we can get that up, I still feel good about a lot of those guys being able to play on Sunday. And as we're watching this, you probably have a little bit more information on all of those guys than we do as we're currently recording this. But Wednesday's injury list was pretty big. Roquan Smith, Rashad Bateman, Lamar Jackson, Kyle Hamilton, Keon Martin, Andrew Voorhees, Ronnie Stanley, and Isaiah Likely. I would say the only guy on that list that I would almost, I don't want to say guarantee, but I'd be pretty positive does not play is Rashad Bateman. Outside of that, I would expect all of those guys to be able to strap it up. We got a lot more questions to get to. We're going to do that in just a second. Before we got to talk about our awesome sponsor, those are great friends over at Ethos. As you know, my wife Kennedy and I got married a little over a year and a half ago, and I imagine we'll buy a house sometime in the next couple of months, maybe start having kids, and if something were to happen to me, the last thing I want the people I love to worry about is being able to pay the bills. So I trust Ethos to keep them protected. It's not fun to think about what would happen if something happened, but you do need to be prepared. With life insurance through Ethos, your family is protected. Life insurance is a perfect way to make sure you're covered. You can get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. You can get same-day coverage without ever leaving your house. You can even get up to $3 million in coverage in some policies as low as $2 a day, billed monthly. Need more convincing? Ethos has 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot with over 2,400 reviews. 3 million families have completed their applications to trust Ethos to help them find the right coverage. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your quote for free at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Application times may vary. Rates may vary. Jacko up next. A lot of offensive line talk. In my opinion, is Linderbaum won't sign if Fatty is given right guard next year. Your thoughts? So, I don't disagree. However, if they're offering Linderbaum top market money, he's going to sign whether it's Daniel Faalele next to him or it's me next to him. Like, he's not going to turn down $16 million a year to be the center of this team. $20 million a year maybe. I don't know. Who's the highest paid center right now? Let me look that up real quick. The highest paid center is $18 million a year at Creed Humphrey. So if he gets offered $18 million a year, it doesn't matter who he's got next to him. I don't know if they'll sign him, though. It's going to be interesting because Travis Jones also going to be a free agent. They're going to have to decide probably between one out of the two of those guys. Interesting to see who that's going to be. But shout out to Jacko, for getting that question in on today's show. Kimberly Harmon is up next. Do you think Tyler Huntley will play on Sunday against the Jets if Lamar don't play? Yeah, I guess it would be Tyler Huntley. And if it were Tyler Huntley, guess what? I think I would still have faith in this team to be able to beat the Jets. If you beat the Chicago Bears with Tyler Huntley, you can beat New York without Tyler Huntley. New York is horrible, and they just traded away their two best defensive players, probably two best players in Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner. So if he does play, I'd feel confident in them winning. Henry will have under because Harbaugh will do the opposite of what we need to do. That's talking about carries. And this is our last question, by the way. That's talking about carries against the Jets. I believe I set the line at 16.5. Fierce Outdoors is going with under. I hope that's not true. I do think it will be over just because you've seen a little bit of an uptick in his production as of recently. I mean, if you look at his last 5 games, he's gotten 18 carries, 20 carries, 19, 21, 25. And so also with Lamar Jackson dealing with a little bit of health stuff, I do think you're going to run him a little more, and I expect you to be up. You're not going to pass the ball. So give me the more on 16.5 carries. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you got me followed on social media, Twitter, Instagram, both platforms, same username. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/RavensTV. You'll find me here every day with Ravens content.